Thank you for tuning in to SimPilot 2450. It would be greatly appreciated if you guys could show your support for this video and the channel by liking and subscribing so others like you can find the channel. Let's go have some fun. Thanks. Hi folks, welcome back to the channel and another flight with SimPilot 2450. Today's flight we will be focusing on the World Update 15, which included the Nordics and Greenland. The Microsoft Flight Simulator team has released a new world update, improving the Nordics and Greenland with fresh satellite imagery, 90 handmade points of interest, 5 handcrafted airports, 10 cities, and enhanced digital elevation models. Today's flight we will be featuring Norway, and this flight is going to be part of a series of flights, and this will be Norway Series Flight 1. And as you can see here on our map, here is Norway. We can zoom in and I'll show you what we're going to do. We'll be flying in the Wideroe Black Square Cessna Caravan, and we'll be departing the Stokmarknes Airport, ENSK, and then we'll travel to the Svolvær Airport, ENSH. So we're going to come across this stretch of Atlantic Ocean, and then we're going to follow these fjords down here until we reach the Svolvær Airport, ENSH. We'll drop off some supplies here. We'll drop off a few passengers. We'll take off from there. We'll head out to the Skrova Lighthouse. This is one of the points of interest that's included in the World Update. And then we'll fly southwest to the Leknes Airport, ENLK. And this is located on the Lofoten Islands. Here are the islands. Very, very beautiful scenery. So that's what our flight's going to consist of today. So we'll have multiple landings, takeoffs, and have some beautiful scenery. So let me meet you at the Stokmarknes Airport. Well, welcome to the Stokmarknes Airport, ENSK. This is a regional airport located on the southern part of the island of Langøya. This is a custom scenery by On Final Studios. So before we jump in the Black Square Caravan, let's take a little tour of the airport. If you'd rather skip the airport overview, the video is broken up into chapters, so you can skip right ahead to whatever chapter you'd like. So the Stokmarknes Airport is located 5 kilometers northwest of the town of Stokmarknes and is connected to the town via the Hadsill Bridge. We will see this bridge as part of the scenery. So the airport itself has detailed 3D models of all buildings. As I mentioned, custom-made Hadsill Bridge with working traffic, PBR textures, night lighting, correctly placed taxiways and runways, and many custom-made objects. Currently, Wideroe, a Norwegian regional airline, is the only operator with a license to operate at Stokmarknes. Wideroe offers direct scheduled flights from both Tromsø and Bodø. The airport looks pretty nice. Here's some of the outbuildings. See, we've got a couple windsocks Obviously they need to remove one of those. Ground textures look pretty good. Climb up here and get a bird's eye view. As you can see, there's the Hadsill Bridge. This bridge is 30 meters high, and it invites some spectacular sights when approaching the airport. You see, it is very, very beautiful. We can go street side, see what's been done. Obviously, it's not a very big airport. It's not really a lot to model. But it's fine. There are no interiors done here. That looks pretty good. Alright, let's head back to the aircraft and we will get started. Welcome to the cockpit of the Black Square Cessna 208 Caravan. Wonderful little turboprop aircraft. We've got some passengers on board and some cargo. Should be a good flight. So let's go ahead and start with our before engine start check. So we'll first check with the parking brake. Parking brake is on. We're going to come on with our battery switch. Get some panel lights on here. In Norway, even midday, sometimes it can start to get a little dark. So we'll get some lights on. No smoking seatbelt switches. Let's get those on. Fuel tank selectors. Get those on. We can check the quantity. Looks good. Avionics switch 1 coming on. Let me program our flight plan and then I'll get right back to you. So you see, I've programmed in our departure airport, Stokmarknes, ENSK. Then we'll be heading to the Svolvær Airport, ENSH. And then we'll finally be landing at the Leknes Airport, ENLK. So let's continue with our checklist. Ventilation, AC and bleed air is off, and it is off. Fuel shutoff, firewall shutoff, they're both pushed in. Yep. Ignition switch to norm, and it is at norm. Throttle and power lever is idle. RPM is coming to full forward, and our fuel conditioner lever is on cutoff. Wing flaps are up. And that completes our before engine start. So our engine start list, come on with our nav and beacon. Check the propeller area. All looks good. Fuel boost switch is coming to on. You can hear that. And the starter switch will be coming to start. We're looking for an N1 of 12%. We can look up here. This 10, 11, 12 will come into the fuel cutoff to low idle. Watching our ITT, a max of 1090, so we're okay there. And we get to 50 on the NG, we can go ahead and come off with the starter switch. Get over here where I can see. Off with the starter switch. And come on with our avionics 2. Generator switch, we can go to reset. Fuel boost switch, we can come to off. And now we can just check all of our engine instruments. Everything is looking good. Annunciator panel is clean. So let's go ahead and we will set our altimeter. And we are basically ready for taxi. So we can come on with our taxi light if you'd like. Come up here, look at the traffic. And we'll select a runway. We'll be using 27. We'll announce our taxi.
Echo November Sierra Kilo Traffic Wideroe 2450 is taxiing to runway 27.
Alright, everything looks clear. Come off with our parking brake. We'll be flying low and slow today, basically at 1,000 feet. This will give our customers a nice view. Heading down through the fjords, going out around the lighthouse. This will give everyone a wonderful view. It's a short flight. So let's get prepared for our takeoff. So the standby alternator can come on. Generator switch can be set to trip, then reset. Fuel boost switch can come to normal. Check fuel quantities, looking great. And we can see the temperature's a little cool, so let's go ahead and come on with the bleed air. And give just a little touch of heat. Warm everybody up. Avionics is fine. We're not going to be using the autopilot at all today. So we're all set there. We can set our flaps to takeoff. No anti-ice required. Pitot heats not required. Annunciator panel is clean. Time is okay. Check our trim. And that's okay. And let's go ahead and altitude reporting on our transponder. We'll come on with our lights. Fuel conditioner lever coming to full. And now let's indicate our intentions. We will be departing to the south. So announce our takeoff, depart to the south.
Echo November Sierra Kilo Traffic Wideroe 2450, taking off runway 27 south departure.
When we take off, we should get a real good look at the Hadsel Bridge. This bridge is very high. It's 30 meters high, and it invites some spectacular sights when approaching the airport. So we should get a good view of that when we depart. Let's check final. Looking good. Should see the bridge right off to our left. There it is. Alright, everything is set. Everything looks good. Let's head out. Look at our engine limitations. 805 on the ITT, 1970 on the torque, 1900 on the props, 101.6 on the N2. Rotate, flaps coming up at 95. Looking good. We'll climb to 1,000 feet. Make our turn out.
Lodo Center Wideroe 2450 is type Cessna Caravan 1 miles west of Echo November, Sierra Kilo 600 feet.
Bridge looks very nice. There's 1,000 feet. Level off. We're going to come back with the torque. Come back with our prop. 1,600. That looks good. Nice gentle cruise here. So now all I'm doing is trimming off wants to climb, so I'm holding down pressure on the yoke. So now I'm dialing in some down trim to relieve that pressure. So that's feeling pretty good right there. So our after takeoff check. You can do a GUMPS check if you want. Look at our gas. Gas is good. Fuel pump is where we want it. Undercarriage. Not much we can do with that. Mixture is set. Props are set. Now safety is seatbelt, all our switches, our lights, so we can come off with our lights. There, should be all set. So what we're going to do is head out right straight off the nose here, and we'll head down these fjords. And when we get to the end of the fjord, we will end up seeing our first airport, where we'll drop off some passengers and some cargo at the Stokmarknes Airport, ENSK. So sit back and enjoy the flight, enjoy the scenery. That's what this flight is all about. This is what this series of flights are all about. This is the Microsoft World Update 15 involving the Nordics and Greenland, and we are featuring Norway. And as you can see, it is absolutely stunning. I am flying hands-off, no autopilot, so we're trimmed up pretty good for our pitch.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
We'll turn her off. So this is one of the things I'd like to encourage everyone, is to manually fly your aircraft. One of the tricks in flying manually is, of course, using trim. Trim is your buddy. By using trim, you reduce your workload immensely. And you can see I'm basically flying hands-off. You know, I'm touching the yoke every once in a while for roll, just to control our heading. But that's about it.
Center Wideroe 2450 is type Cessna Caravan 10 miles south of Echo November, Sierra Kilo 1,200 feet. Request flight following. Squawk 6712. Squawk 6712 Wideroe 2450. Wideroe 2450 radar contact 11 miles south of Echo November, Sierra Kilo 1,100 feet. Altimeter 29.902.
And you see we're 11 miles out for our airport, first stop. When we fly this approach, I will be controlling altitude in a sight picture with throttle, and we'll trim for our airspeed. And on this approach, I'd like to approach somewhere right around 75. So we'll trim up for 75, and then the throttle will be used to simply take care of our altitude, take care of our sight picture. What beautiful scenery.
Lodo Center Wideroe 2450 is type Cessna Caravan 9 miles north of Echo November, Sierra Hotel 1,000 feet. Request flight following. Wideroe 2450 Lodo Center. Squawk 0473. Squawk 0473 Wideroe 2450. Wideroe 2450 radar contact 8 miles north of Echo November, Sierra Hotel 1,000 feet. Altimeter 29.902.
So our first airport is down here on this point. We are basically going to be flying a straight in.
Echo November, Sierra Hotel, traffic Wideroe 2450 7 miles north, 1,000 feet inbound to land runway 19er.
We'll be dropping off a few passengers, some cargo, and then we'll head to the Leknes Airport, our final destination. So after we land at this airport, we're going to head out here, fly around this lighthouse. This is one of the points of interest that Microsoft has provided. So we'll go ahead and come on with our landing lights. We're only 5 miles out. And we can come in with our first notch of flaps. Reducing a little bit of power. We're going to bleed off some of the airspeed. If we hold our altitude and reduce power, that will end up reducing airspeed. So there's 120. We'll come in with our second notch of flaps. Again, reducing power, bleeding off some airspeed. There's 100. We'll come in with our final notch of flaps. Now we're going to trim up for 80, 75. So right now I'm holding some back pressure, bleeding off the airspeed and coming in with some up trim. Alright, so there's 75. So now I'm going to control our sight picture. If we take this distance here from the dashboard up here to our landing point, we want to keep that the same. We're going to control that with throttle. So if the nose starts to get a little low, as it is right now, come in with a little bit of power to reduce that rate of descent. Now it's coming back up, so again we're going to come back out with the power to increase that rate of descent. And it's very small movements with the throttle. You see the nose coming down a little bit, so I'm just going to come in a teeny bit with the power.
500.
You see all along this, our airspeed is maintaining the same speed because that's what we're trimmed at. So I'm not doing anything, not really worrying about airspeed at all. So now I'm going to come off with the power a little bit to increase our rate of descent. So we'll try to touch down between the numbers and the touchdown point. Getting the prop to full. Reducing the power now, starting our flare. Now we'll just hold that picture right there. Very nice. Fuel conditioner lever, coming to idle. And we'll head to the terminal.
climb and maintain flight level 220.
So this is a custom scenery by MXI Design. As we're letting out our passengers, we will take a little tour of the airport. come off with our strobe light. See if there's anybody waiting for us. Nope. Alright, we'll come on with our parking brake. We'll unload some of the passengers. While they're unloading, we'll jump out and take a look at the airport. Well, welcome to the Svolvær Airport, ENSH. This is an airport by MX Design. It's a regional airport serving the town of Svolvær. Its scenic location, surrounded by both fjords and towering mountains, makes this airport a beautiful destination. So let's take a look at the airport. The airport features an up-to-date ground layout, high-detailed ground polygons and markings, high-detailed modeled airport buildings, for the best rendition of the airport, PBR implementation to airport buildings, basic interior models for both terminals.
Echo November Sierra Hotel traffic Wideroe 836 is on base runway 19er.
We can go in and take a quick peek.
Echo November Sierra Hotel traffic Wideroe 836 is on base runway 19er. Echo
Nothing
November Sierra
fancy.
Hotel traffic Wideroe 836 is on base runway
The airport
19er.
also features animated passengers and flags. Head down here to the fire station. You see, it's beautiful. There is a control tower. Nothing super fancy. So here's a look at the control tower. They haven't done the insides or anything. But a good little look. Beautiful. So let's head back to the caravan and we'll jump in. We'll head to the lighthouse and then to our final destination, which is Leknes Airport. Welcome back to the cockpit as we taxi out to depart the Svolvær Airport on our way to the Leknes Airport. So this is the Svolvær Airport by MXI Design. So let's do our before takeoff checks. Standby altimeter, alternator is fine. Generator switch, we've done that. So we're going to set our flaps to takeoff. Let's go ahead and let everyone know our intentions. And we will be departing to basically to the west.
Echo November Sierra Hotel traffic Wideroe 2450, taking off runway 19 departure to the west.
So come on with our lights. And we'll take our transponder to altitude reporting. And we'll come with our fuel conditioner lever to full. Final is looking good. There was an aircraft that reported it was on final. I don't see anything at all. So we'll rotate at 65 and bring our flaps up at 95. 60, 65. It's 95. You can see the lighthouse right in front of us here. We're going to head out to that. Come off with our landing lights.
Center Wideroe 2450 is type Cessna Caravan 1 mile south of Echo November Sierra Hotel 200 feet. Request flight following.
Wideroe 2450 Mono Center. Squawk 7142.
Squawk 7142 Wideroe 2450.
Wideroe 2450 radar contact 2 miles south of Echo November Sierra Hotel 800 feet. Altimeter 29.92.
Roger, Wideroe 2450.
So I've leveled off. I'm holding down pressure on the yoke, so I'm dialing in some down trim to relieve that pressure. Because we are going to fly hands off, no autopilot. It's feeling pretty good. So this is the Skrova Lighthouse. It's an international culture and culinary beacon. Has one of the most spectacular places to stay in Norway. It's 14 beds, 8 rooms, summer concerts, food. It was built in 1922 and it is 80 feet high. Still dialing in a little down trim, that was a little too much. So let's see if we can get a good look at the lighthouse. And then we'll fly around the island. Very nice. This lighthouse is one of the points of interest that Microsoft has provided in this World Update. So now we'll just fly around the island, and then we'll head to our final destination, which is the Leknes Airport, ENLK. And that is also a custom airport provided by Microsoft. And when we get to that airport, you'll see it's a very nice airport. They've done the insides. Very, very nice. So now as we're holding this bank, basically 30 degrees, you will have to hold just a little bit of back pressure to maintain your altitude. And that's because your lift component has been split into a vertical and horizontal component. Very nice. And as we level off from this turn, you will have to have any more back pressure, so you can reduce that back pressure. So now it should be just a nice little flight. It's approximately 23 miles.
Wideroe 857 climb and maintain 7,100 feet.
Again, we're flying hands off, no autopilot.
Climb and maintain 7,100 feet, Wideroe 857.
But you see, you can fly these airplanes by hand. You don't need the autopilot. I mean, the autopilot's good at times, but it's also very enjoyable to fly them by hand. So I would definitely encourage everyone to do that. That's how you'll really improve your flying skills, is by flying by hand. Now the Leknes Airport, we can contact them.
Echo November Lima Kilo, traffic Wideroe 2450, 21 miles east 1,100 feet, inbound to land runway 20.
Go ahead and set our heading bug for the runway heading. We'll fly over this little village. And then the airport will be up in here. I think we'll be flying right through this little valley. And then we'll take a hard turn to the north to the airport. this far. We are currently 13 miles out from the airport. Beautiful, beautiful scenery. Seeing any cargo sea traffic. The Atlantic looks pretty bare. Looks cold, even though it is September. Make the flight a little more scenic, we're flying right up through here versus going out around and then coming into the airport. The airport sits in here somewhere. But we want to give our passengers a nice scenic trip. Gorgeous. We can give a position call if we'd like.
Echo November Lima Kilo, traffic Wideroe 24509 9 miles east 1,000 feet inbound to land runway 20.
So when we enter this little valley, we'll see the airport. We will basically be flying a left downwind. There is an NDB that sits out here that we could have dialed in if we wanted to for navigational purposes, but we've got nice VFR conditions today. We can see very well, so we can navigate just by sight. Again, we've flown this entire flight, no autopilot, just by hand. The bedrock looked very nice, looked like granite to me. Of course, all of this topography here, all these U-shaped valleys, are due to glaciation, current, and over the past 10,000 years. has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of glaciers, but all of these U-shaped valleys were carved out by alpine glaciers that have now melted. So as we get up here, we'll be taking a hard right, and then we should be able to see the airport. Again, as I start this turn, you've got to come in with a little bit of back pressure. Now I think the airport's over here. But let's see. This might be it right there. So we'll go ahead and announce our downwind.
Echo November Lima Kilo traffic Wideroe 2450 is on downwind runway 20.
Come in with our landing lights. So here is the airport. We'll basically be flying about over that hill. So let's go ahead and turn to a parallel heading. Can go ahead and start to reduce our airspeed. I'm going to come in with the first notch of flaps, and again I'm going to hold our altitude so we end up bleeding off airspeed. We're a little high. We're almost at a 45. As I said, we'd probably be right over this hill. So let's go ahead and turn base. And again, I'm trimming up so we have no pressure on the yoke. Let's come in with a second notch of flaps. And again, I'm reducing power. Coming full with the prop. We'll roll out at a 90 degree and we're going to trim for 75. And we'll come in with our last notch of flaps. And now our nose should start to settle down. There it is. So we're going to maintain our altitude in our sight picture with throttle. And trim is taking care of our airspeed. So we're trimming up somewhere right around 75 to 80. So right now we're a little high, so I'm reducing the power just slightly to increase our rate of descent. You see it's moved up to 1,000 feet now. Generally we're going to want somewhere around 700.
500.
So I'm coming back in with the power. You see our airspeed is maintaining itself. Get lined up with the center line here. Coming in with just a little bit of power. Again, I'm doing nothing with the yoke for back pressure. just taking care of roll, not pitch. Okay, reducing the power. You see the nose is coming down a little bit. Reducing it some more now. Alright, I'm going to start to our flare. Run off of the power. Now hold that. Wasn't my prettiest landing.
Wideroe 878 climb and maintain 9,000 feet.
Back to idle on the fuel conditioner, and we'll come off the landing lights and our strobe. Welcome to Leknes Airport. There, so we will come on with our parking brake, and let's do our after landing checks and our shutdown checks. So our flaps are coming up, pitot heat is off, transponder to ground, yep, ice protection's off, landing lights and strobe lights are off, fuel condition lever is low idle, weather radar is off, initial separator is off, parking brake is set, avionics can come off, standby alternator can come off, fuel boost pump can come to off, heat and AC can come off, power lever idle for 1 minute, it has been, so we can already come back with our propellers to feather. There's that, and we can come with the fuel condition lever to cut off. And we'll wait for the prop to stop, and at that point we'll turn off our exterior lights. We want to keep the lights on until the propeller stops spinning. There we go. So we'll come off with our external lights. We can turn off our inside lights as well. Go ahead and turn these lights off. Fuel selectors, we can turn those off. Oxygen is off, we didn't need it. And we can come off with the battery. Well, there. We'll get out, take a little tour of the airport. I'll meet you outside. Welcome to Leknes Airport. This is an airport by Microsoft and has been provided in the New World Update 15. And as you will see, it's a cute little airport. They've done a very nice job with it. Leknes Airport is a regional airport serving the town of Leknes on the Lofoten Islands. It's got a 3,500 foot paved runway, and airline service is provided by Wideroe. And you'll see they've done a super job here. They've even modeled the interior. Remember, this is a Microsoft airport. It actually was designed by an independent designer. But you can see he's done a fabulous job. And you can see there's Wideroe Airlines. We can go outside and look at the street side. I think you'll find that they've done a fabulous job street side. And again, this is a free airport by Microsoft. It is absolutely fabulous. You see, they've done a nice job street side. And you'll notice we can go to the tower, and they've even done the tower. Look at this inside. This is fabulous. Little spiral staircase. Outstanding job. Really beautiful airport to fly into. See a little bit of the downtown area. I can see the fire truck going into the fire station. Let's go down and we'll check that out. So that's kind of cool to know that the fire truck actually can come in and out of the fire station. Will be interesting when we get down to the fire station. Will the door be still open or closed? And it looks to be closed. So that's really cool. The doors open up. Fire truck comes out, and it can back itself back into the garage. Let's step inside and take a peek. Good looking fire truck. snow plows. We'll take a look at a couple of these other maintenance buildings. Well, there, I hope you enjoyed the flight today. Again, we are highlighting Norway. This will be a series of flights. So hopefully you enjoyed it. So I guess we'll call it quits for today. Till next time, have a great one. Thank you. Thank you again for watching, and if you could, please show your support for this video and the channel by liking and subscribing, so others like you can find the channel. Thanks.